What's going on, YouTube, man? Welcome back to another video. On this channel, we trying to save as many people as we possibly can. So make sure you hit that post notification bell so you don't miss whenever I upload content like this. Now listen, brothers and sisters, I want you guys to know that I do have links down below in my description box that I want you guys to be interactive with. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of helpful things down there that you guys can benefit from. You know what I'm saying? Also check my community tab for any updates on what may be going on in my life. Check my community tabs to find out anything else that you might have missed out on. So without further ado, I just want to talk to you guys about how to avoid lustful thoughts, right? How to avoid lustful thoughts. And we live in a world where it's not easy avoiding lustful things. It's not easy avoiding lust, right? We live in a world where, women are overly sexualizing themselves. We live in a world where, on social media, you're not even safe on social media anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's another point that I wanted to touch on, because social media can really be your detriment, right? If you're not careful enough on social media, it can actually be your downfall. And what I mean by that is social media, it's algorithm based, right? So let's say you see an attractive, beautiful woman on your feed, right? Let's say you click on the picture or the video or whoever is controlling that algorithm on Instagram is going to keep feeding you beautiful, attractive women, because they notice that's what's keeping you clicking, right? They notice that's what's keeping you engaged on their platform. And this goes for YouTube, this goes for Facebook, this goes for all, TikTok, this goes for all these things, right? Whatever you feed your energy into, whatever you feed your time and energy into, that's what these platforms are going to then feed you, right? It's all a supply and demand type of thing. So whatever they feel like you like, whatever they feel like is keeping you on the app, that's what they're going to keep feeding you, right? So I want you guys to understand that first, right? So how to avoid lustful thoughts. And this is not going to be easy. I'm not trying to say what I'm going to say might help everybody, but I'm sure this can help somebody, and a key way to avoid lustful thoughts based on what I just said is try to keep your environment pure, right? Try to keep your social media pure. If you notice that you follow a lot of Instagram models, right? Unfollow a couple of them. Not even a couple of them. Unfollow all of them, right? The Bible talks about if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. Not literally, but you should understand what that's trying to say. If something is causing you to stumble, then you got to get rid of that thing. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if something is in your life that is causing you to stumble, that goes for people, social media, if it even goes down to where you work, right? Because I know I work in a retail setting where a lot of women come through all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So temptation always finds me. I don't know what it is, but temptation always finds me. And imagine working in a retail setting and you're constantly being bombarded with women wearing leggings, beautiful, attractive tourist women. You know what I'm saying? Imagine seeing that on a daily basis. You get what I'm saying? So it's for people like that, in a situation like that, it's important to regulate what you're looking at on a daily, consistent basis. And, I want to apologize for the wind that may be blowing, but a lot of people, I don't know who believes in this, but I genuinely believe that whatever you feed your mind, don't be surprised if when you fall asleep, you might have a dream about that thing, right? If the last thing, let's say you spent your whole day lusting after something, let's say you spent your whole day thinking about something, don't be surprised if you fall asleep and you dream about that exact thing, right? So that's why it's important to keep your environment pure, because when you keep your environment pure, you won't have the option to turn to your left or turn to your right, because you're going straight, if that makes sense. You don't have the option to turn to pornography. You don't have the option to look at women lustfully, because you're now avoiding these things. You're now purifying your environment. You're now purifying the things that you are looking at. So it's very important to really regulate your time on these social media platforms, because I promise you, the moment you click on a lustful picture, the moment you click on one of these people doing something sexual or lustful, it's gonna work against you. And that's just a fact. That is just a fact. It's a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of women especially, they're profiting off of sexualizing themselves. Even if they're not overly doing it, they're in some way, shape, or form, a lot of women are profiting off of sexualizing themselves in one way or another, right? So it's very important to regulate what you're consuming, right? It's very important. So you have to cut out what's probably making you stumble. You know what I'm saying? I know even this new artist, her name is Ice Spice, right? A lot of y'all may know her. She is pushing a lustful agenda, y'all. For those of y'all that may not have the eyes to see, she is pushing a lustful agenda. And it's crazy because she's my age, right? She's in her early 20s, and the industry got her pushing a lustful sexual agenda. And it's to destroy us as men. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say, oh, it's just to destroy us men, because women included. A young lady who might be coming up, she's gonna be looking at somebody like an Ice Spice. She's gonna be looking up to somebody as an Ice Spice. And you know what? After that, she's gonna start acting like Ice Spice. She's gonna start dressing like Ice Spice. That same lustful demonic spirit that's in Ice Spice is gonna go towards that young lady. And that's just a fact. So that is how you essentially avoid these lustful thoughts, is if you regulate the things that you're consuming. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even want to look at the sites. You shouldn't even want to spend time on Instagram if you're gonna come across a Jezebel spirited woman. You know what I'm saying? That's how you avoid these lustful thoughts. And a lot of the times, even when we try to do these things, this is why I say this might not work for everybody, because, just saying that, we gotta avoid, looking at lustful images online and, giving our energy to things. Me just saying this might not work for somebody else, right? So I want to tell you guys also got to stay prayed up. You got to stay prayed up in a time like this, because one prayer isn't going to always work. Two prayers might not work. We have to stay consistent with God. God knows what we're about to do before we even do it. And this is why most of our prayers go unanswered, right? You might have told God that you wasn't going to go back to your ex, but God already knew you was going to go back to your ex, and that's why he didn't do what you prayed for. You get what I'm saying? You might have prayed to God to release you from these spiritual oppressions, but he already knew you was going to go back to the sites. And this is why we have to stay consistent. We have to be consistent in our prayer life, right? We have to be consistent, because sometimes one prayer might not work. Sometimes two prayers might not work. So we have to be consistent and continue to seek his kingdom. A key message of today's video is stay off of social media as much as possible. Stay off of social media as much as possible. Stop overly sexualizing these type of women, because once you stay off of social media, and once you stop lustfully thinking about these women and or objectifying women, you won't be having these lustful thoughts. And that's why the hub is so dangerous, because it overly sexualizes, situations. Somebody could be doing a regular, everyday, mundane situation, and pornography will literally overly sexualize it. And this is why we carry that same type of thinking in the real world. A woman could be eating a banana, and most people will sexualize that. And that's crazy. I remember seeing a video on YouTube where this woman was letting guys peel back a banana while she just bit it. And I'm like, yo, like, this is what we have came to as a society. Like, that's wild. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all probably laughing right now, but it's true. And that's why watching the sites is so dangerous. That is why. Because you're now going to start overly sexualizing people and situations, and that is what's going to lead to these lustful thoughts. And I promise you, you don't want to get trapped in a cycle of lustful thoughts. You don't. Because I know as a man, when I feel, or fall into that cycle of lustful thoughts, it feels like you've dived in a rabbit hole and you can't get out. I'm telling y'all, man, once the spirit of lust has you by a stronghold, it's very hard to get that stronghold off. Like the Bible says, some of these things can only get released through prayer and fasting. So do not ever think that the spirit of lust is just something to play with, because it's not, y'all. Don't try to live life through your own strength thinking, oh, I could just view this video on the site and I won't release to it. Oh, I'm gonna just edge and there won't be any consequences, because there will be. There will be a consequence to your action if you continue to disobey God. Eventually, I don't care how powerful, I don't care how strong you may be going on your SR journey. And this goes for me too. I'm not just talking to y'all. This goes for me too. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop giving in so much to lust. And that is why we can't avoid these lustful thoughts, because we keep giving in. That is how powerful lust is. And I want you guys to realize that. Once you give your strength just to one video, just to one click on a lustful image, just to one click on an IG baddie, all of these things, just one click can just ruin your whole life. And this is why I want to tell you guys to stay away from things that's causing you to stumble. I know it's going to be hard, but that is why God is graceful enough. That is why Christ is graceful enough to give us his strength to persevere, to endure these tough situations. Right? So listen, man, that is how you guys can go about avoiding these lustful thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think of this video down below. I forgot how my outro goes. So let me know if you guys found anything valuable or learned anything new in this video. Share this video with a friend, because they most definitely will need this video. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'll catch you in the next one, and I'm out.